Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I am going to show you how to use the tutorial of my first neck warmer that I did last year to make leg warmers. If this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. My name is Kata and this is my making journey. In this channel, I show a little bit of my creative journey, especially with knitting and sewing. It's what I've shown so far. And I add some tutorials for knitting and sewing, things that I've done for beginners, things that I think might help other people in their making journey. So welcome. I am filming from Valpo, Chile in South America. In this video, I show you how to use the tutorial of my first neck warmer to be able to make other things like leg warmers. I used it to make a present for a cousin who had his first son, who's about to turn 6 months. And I made him some leg warmers so that, not just because it's winter here and it's cold, but because he's learning to crawl. And these leg warmers, if you make them long enough, will go over the knee and are a way to protect pants. So instead of putting kneecaps or anything like that, knee protectors, you can just use the leg warmers, which will go on to doubling as leg warmers later on. We did this for Max and they worked really well. Once he stopped crawling, we still use them as leg warmers so that he would be barefoot and could learn how to walk. So that was really nice. And I think it's a good, quick project for people to learn how to use double pointed needles or how to even out their hand or when they knit double pointed and in the round. You know, it's a quick little gift that you can make for somebody you love, something that they will use, something that they will like, that is handmade and nobody else can make. So I hope you think it's useful. With no further ado, here it is.
The first thing you'll do is measure your baby's leg. Measure the widest part of their calf and then the height from the ankle as high up as you want to knit on their leg. If you don't have a baby with you, look for a standard measurement chart online and use that as a reference. You might not get the exact measurement you need, for example, the circumference of the calf, but you can use the circumference of the thigh, for example, to eyeball it. In this case, I use Max's calf to resemble the width of a 6-month-old baby's thigh. I got 23 by 30 centimeters, which is about 9 by 12 inches.
All right, so the next step is to calculate how many stitches you're going to need for cast on. We're going to use the gauge that we used for the neck warmer, which was 30 stitches every 23 centimeters. We want to know how many stitches there are in 30 centimeters. So what we're going to do next is multiply this across. And we're going to say 30 times 30, which is 900. And then we're going to divide that by 23, which is a little over 39. It's 39.1 something. I used the calculator a while ago before starting this video. So I'm going to round that up to 40. And 40 is, I could round down. Remember, I don't have to round up, but these are leg warmers. They're also good for, the ones that I'm making are going to be for a baby that is starting to crawl. So he wants to be comfortable and mobile, and I want to use these to protect his little knees so he doesn't need knee pads while being warm. So I'm going to size up. It's just 1 stitch, but for this, as we know, for this gauge, 2 stitches is about a centimeter, a little over a centimeter. So I'm just going to round that up. I could have gone down, but I'm going to do 40. So if we want to do it in inches, our 30 stitches, the equivalent of 23 centimeters is about, it's not exact, about 9 inches. And we want to know how many stitches are going to fit in 30 centimeters, which is about 12. It's a little bit less than 12, but we're going to round up to 12. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 30 times 12. And I know that 12 times 3 is 36. So it's 360 divided by 9, which gives us a nice round number of 40. If I had used the exact numbers that are equivalent to 23 and 30, I would have probably had I would have had a fraction, but because I rounded up, I'm getting a nice round number. So these are the numbers we're gonna work with, and now we're gonna proceed to casting on. For the cast on, I'm just gonna be using a technique that has been giving me good results lately, and I'm just going to wrap my yarn 40 times around this needle. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 40. All right, so that's gonna be how much I'm gonna use. And then I add a little bit more just so it's comfortable to do it. All right, so the end of your tail is going to go over your thumb, and the side attached to the yarn ball is gonna go over your index, and you can hold them with your 3 fingers. Of course, you can use any cast on method you want. Just make sure it's relatively loose so that the little leg isn't like, you know, super tight. So from here, you can do a slip knot, or you can just twist it. I like to grab the yarn from the bottom and just get into, basically into the stitch. So I grab the yarn from the bottom, go underneath both yarns on the thumb, then into the loop, then I go over the needle with the yarn on my index finger, and then there's a tiny window here that opens, made by the going around the loop in the thumb, and I'm just gonna pull the yarn through that. And once I have that, I let go of my thumb and I just pull it a little bit, but I don't make it super tight for the reason that I just mentioned. I want this to be a little bit elastic. So we're gonna go again, under, inside, over, and then under, inside again. And just like that. One more time. Under, inside, over, and through the little window. Under, inside, over, through the window. Under, inside, over, through the window. And just do this until you reach 40.
And before we continue, here's a few seconds of one of Max's favorite things in the city, checking out new murals as they're being made. How cool is that? Turned out really nice.
All right, once you get to 40, as you can see, this is how much was left, so about a foot. And now, with the 40 stitches, you're going to count them, make sure you have them all, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 4, 6, 8, 32, 32, 48, 40, see, perfect. All right, and now we're gonna distribute them to the other needles. You do not have to use these type of needles. Maybe you prefer to do the magic loop. I've never tried that technique, but some people prefer that. Maybe you wanna knit this flat, and that's totally fine, and then all you need to do is seam it. If you're scared about starting to knit in the round, you know, that's all you need to do. Just do it flat and then seam it. I put 11 here. I'm gonna put 10. Actually, no, I'm gonna use 3 needles instead of 4. So I'm gonna do 13, 13, and then the next one is also gonna have 13. Normally I distribute into 4, but since it's only 40 stitches, I don't wanna be moving, you know, using that many needles. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. There will be 14 on the last needle. That's fine. All right. The only thing to keep in mind now is to make sure that this doesn't twist, because then you have a big problema. So make sure that this is all straight, that you're not twisting anything, and then you will proceed to knit. I like to put the first stitch into the last needle instead of starting with a new needle to close the circle. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do a knit. That's a little bit tight because I'm using 3 needles, but that's okay. Now it'll open up again. And now we're going to do a purl. I'm doing a 1-1 rib. So knit, purl, knit, purl all the way. Knit, purl, oops, purl. This first round is always the hardest because it's the tightest. Knit, purl, knit, purl. And here's one tip that I like to, this is something I like to do to make sure that things are even. Sometimes when you're starting with double pointed needles, these vertexes where the needles meet or where the knitting opens can get really loose. So what I do is every time, Sorry, I had the needle in my mouth. Every time I get to the first stitch on the new needle, I knit that stitch onto the needle that I was using before and then continue. By doing this, I make sure that the distribution of the movement is always even, and so I don't create those lines with gaps that sometimes can happen. If you knit super evenly, then you don't have to worry about it, but this is a way that you can minimize those loose strands. So you're going to continue knitting as high as the little leg or the big leg, depending on who you're making this for, is. This is going to go over the knee because I want the baby to be able to crawl. But, it could be really short around the ankles. You can make this to decorate the top of your boots. If you wear long boots or booties, you can do like a little cuff, a decorative cuff. Absolutely, that could be nice and cute. So anyway, I'll see you when I'm at the end. All you need to do now is knit, 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 knit to your heart's content. All right, everyone, so it is the next day and I am done with both leg warmers. This is about 9 inches tall or 23 or so centimeters. This is for a young baby who's going to start crawling soon, as I mentioned before. So I'm about done, and now all I'm going to do is bind off. And the bind off I use is very simple. I just grab 2 stitches and then knit them together. After that, it's knit 2 together. I try to do it not too tight, but other than that, there's not much to it. I also don't do it too loosely because I don't want this to fan out. And that's about it. And then weave in ends and you will be done. Once you're done, all you need to do is pull out this loose thread. I already cut it. The end. That's how you can tell if it's too tight or too loose. It's not fanning out too much. It's going to fan out a little bit because this is a rib and the bind off is not. I tested a bind off in a rib and it fanned out more. So this is what I prefer. So all you're going to do now is weave in these 2 ends and you're done. This is one way that you can use the tutorial for my first neck warmer. To weave in the ends, I do the following. I'm going to try to imitate what I see here. So I'm coming this way, and I'm just gonna go in and loop it around and close it. It's that simple. And then I'm going to go to the back, and I'm just going to loop my yarn needle around one of the stitches going down, one of the column of stitches. And then I do that several times, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 stitches. And then in the last one, I go into the yarn. I'm sorry, this yarn is not easy to see, but I go into the thread, I separate it. I just find that it helps catch the tail of the knitting. I just pull it through. I pull it a little bit so that it's not too snug and it ends up coming out. And then I cut a little bit of tail so that it doesn't pop out on the other side. And that is it. You are done. Oops, there we go. You're done, yay. Now the baby can wear them. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you didn't like the video, I hope you like the next one. If you did like the video, I would really appreciate you hitting the like button. And if you like my content, I have other tutorials for knitting and for sewing that you may find interesting, and other videos, as I said, of just my making journey. If you like that and you want to subscribe, I would really appreciate that as well. If you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to write them down. I'm going to post the original My First Neck Warmer below, so you can check that out if you're interested. The two together plus a little sweater makes a great gift for a baby. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. My name is Kata. This is my making journey. Ciao, ciao.